Manufacturing has been my passion in the last 40 years. Everything that we are using, everything that we do requires some manufacturing. Manufacturing has a few roles in my mind. One role is to create things, build things. The other role is to support innovation. You hardly can innovate just by doing design and then shipping out things to another place. You need this close proximity between product development and manufacturing, and the connection between the two is critical for the success of your company. The third is to generate jobs which are well paid and which are interesting, where people feel proud that they are creating something, generating something new. Manufacturing is, I think, a major part of the economy and very important for the economical success of any nation. And I believe that more and more jobs are going to come back to, manufacturing jobs are going to come back to America and to the Western world. I think another area where we see some big changes and challenges is the labor market. A lot of the baby boomers are retiring. There is a difficulty to draw young people into manufacturing. They don't see the real value that manufacturing creates for society, for humanity. And we need to do a better job in Siemens and in other manufacturing companies to bring it up and to convince young people to go into manufacturing, because it's a good career, but also because you do something which is good for humanity. Another area is sustainability. Manufacturing demands a lot of energy and creates a lot of CO2 emissions. And that's going to be a challenge in the next years, how to deal with this CO2 emission and how to ensure that we are really taking care of the environment, minimizing the energy costs and the energy consumption. Another area is recycling. This connects to the topic of sustainability. Another area is the resources themselves, the raw materials. It's getting harder and harder in some areas to find raw materials, and we need to be very careful on who is doing the job and how is this material reaching our factories. These are major questions that are going to bother us in the next years. All of it, from a technology point of view, is going to be super exciting, because we are going to see a lot of companies dealing with AI, with advanced robotics, to support the design of the manufacturing process, the operation of the manufacturing and production facilities, and the recycling of these products that are being produced. Let's start with digital transformation. This is a domain that we started to work on in Siemens a couple of years back, when we saw that a lot of companies in the world have adopted CAD tools for digital transformation of the product design, product development side, but not too many have adopted digital transformation capabilities for manufacturing planning and later on for production and production optimization, logistics, supply chain, and up to managing the service of a product in use. So an area where I see a big emphasis and something that we need to work hard on is digitalization of manufacturing planning, of the production facility, to ensure that we are much more efficient, effective, resilient, and agile, to enable a much higher utilization of production facilities, which means more automation, which means to some extent the usage of more robotics and more smart operations, smart operators which are empowered with AI. Digital threads are actually chains of solutions which are built out of various products. These products have to be well connected, so they all play together. The customer sees the value in the end-to-end chain, but not necessarily does he have to deploy the whole chain. He can pick a product or a semi-solution on one end side and then extend to the next level and to the next level after. But he knows that we at Siemens are going to make sure that all of these different components are going to work together and the information can flow from product development to the shop floor and back. Examples to digital threads, let's say battery production. It's a new domain for us. There is a lot we can do in production. We started actually on the shop floor with batteries. This process is built out of several stages, several steps. Each step requires different type of solutions, and we are combining all these solutions to come together so that eventually you can, in a digital world, you can see how all of this is happening together. You can do all kinds of what-if analysis before you invest $1 in building this very expensive facility. And only after you have done it, you can go back and you can say, yes, now I understand what I need to do and I know how exactly to build it. Another example is in Siemens. So we had an old, very old factory in Nanjing. They wanted to move to a new facility. We actually took this digitalization process and digital thread to the limit there. We helped them design the whole facility. Everything was done on the digital model. At the end of the day, once this digital model was done and we could simulate all of it and we could anticipate everything that is going to happen through the process, this way we have achieved a new factory in a record time, much faster than before. And the best thing was that everything that we put on the floor was already working because we have actually evaluated it in the digital model. In this model, we've achieved some significant time benefits over there. We've cut the design by 40%. We have achieved productivity gains of 20 to 25%. The move to the cloud is going to make a big difference also in manufacturing, because it's going to help companies which are small. They will be having a much easier path to go digitalize their manufacturing sites, because they don't have to install anything, they don't have to have a big computer room, they don't have to have a big IT team. They can rely on us, and we are going to help them do it on the cloud. The thing that we all need to remember is that cloud is an enabler to provide our customers with a better service, to reduce their cost. To some extent, this means that they will have more free budget to buy software to cover other areas which today they didn't cover, to enable them to come to us to do digitalization big time, but with small amount of money, and by this enable them to better collaborate with their customers. Another element of cloud computing which is going to make a big difference is obviously the high capacity computing, the ability to do things in a much faster pace than ever before, and the ability to implement AI in almost everything we do. Whether it's a co-pilot that helps you answer questions about the system that you are using, whether it's a way to transform a big PDF document with formulas into a bill of process and put it automatically into the MES with no human intervention and do it flawlessly with no mistakes. Whether it's the ability to help you make decisions on how to take a block of raw material, you have a 3D model, and how to go from the block of raw material to the 3D model in a certain number of steps, but in a way that will reduce the content of the knowledge that the employee needs to know. And the fourth element is data. There is a huge amount of data that we can collect on the shop floor, and using the data, the ability to bring it into the cloud, to do a data lake, to contextualize it and to analyze it with AI tools is going to make a huge difference in our ability to really understand what is happening on the shop floor, and how a better design in the next level is going to help us do a better job. Industrial metaverse is something that we started to discuss about 2 years ago. We see some additional values that are coming out of it, like the ability to blend into this omniverse environment, data that comes from different sources, and simulate all of this data together. But let's not forget, we are creating the content for metaverse. The content is created on the Siemens DI software solutions. It's been pushed into the metaverse for the visualization, collaboration of others, but the content is what's making the difference. So I see these things are coming together: cloud, digitalization, AI, data. They're all going to be kind of linked together, and once they're together, we're becoming much more resilient and flexible and efficient in production.